Alrighty, everybody. Welcome back. We are back once again for another Q and A here at the affectionately known Q Sports Live headquarters. It is myself, Grant, sitting beside Mr. Ben Francis. Um, we'll just kind of wait for everybody to kind of get caught up. Alrighty, everybody. Welcome back. We are back as you can hear me going live in my own phone.
Echo, echo.
Right? What a busy day. Been a
Hopefully,
busy couple of days.
hopefully you're all enjoying first day of lockdown if you're in Alberta.
Well, I know for myself it's not been an issue. I've had my face stuck inside of a computer for days on end.
Doesn't change anything for you.
It really doesn't. Not at this point anyway. I haven't gone stir crazy quite yet.
Can't play pool league. That's about all you're missing out on.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're changing that. So, a couple of house cleaning things to go over. First, we want to get into BCA. Excuse me. We are officially now sanctioned with BCA. We got that announcement, I believe, on Monday or Tuesday, that we are now officially sanctioned with the BCA. So, what that means, and I do want to clarify this because we did have some questions surrounding what that means for players. So, with the BCA sanctioning, they moved their Vegas event from March until September. So, and obviously that's due to COVID. So, what that means for players is through the next 6 or 7 months, if COVID restrictions are still in place and the players don't have an opportunity to go out and get live match play weeks for singles, they will consider your matches against the Ghost in our league. They will consider those as match games. So again, it's a little bit of a toss up as to whether it's going to happen, not going to happen. It really does depend on what happens with COVID, and whether we have the ability to do live match play. Now, that being said, if, for example, things open up and we are, 100% with COVID in the rear view as of March, or, whenever that may be, it would be at that point that we would consider doing live match play as well. So you wouldn't have to go anywhere else. You're still eligible, regardless of what ends up happening.
Yeah, you can still play the CSL IPL. It'll just be a live league,
Yeah,
like a 1v1.
correct. And maybe teams. It really does depend, going forward on the interest level, what everybody wants to see, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, that's kind of the Cole's notes on BCA, what that means for players. If you have any questions regarding that, certainly feel free to send us a message either to the Q Sports Live Facebook page, the International League page, or email at qsportslive@gmail.com.
It should be noted with the BCA sanction, you get the Fargo app
Yes,
included.
yes. So when you pay your fees, the $25 registration fee, I think it is, that does get you, number one, your BCA sanction. It gives us the ability to utilize LMS going forward. Right now, LMS nor Fargo nor Challenge or any of those other sites support Ghostplay, which is why we have to do things a little bit archaically for the beginning of the league. But we are working on the answers to those questions and should have something in place for session two. But with that, it does include the access to LMS, and then not just the Fargo Rate app, the premium Fargo Rate app.
Oh,
There is a little difference. I can't, really go into what those differences are yet. I know that Mike Page is working hard to make that very, very worthwhile to have that premium app. So there are things going on. So that kind of includes everything with that with the fee. We do have some rule questions to go over, some clarifications that we want to go through. We will have full rule sets available on the website And once we can get those put up, then all answers will be on the website. But again, if you do have any questions, certainly send us a message.
They'll also be emailed in the player package.
Correct. So the first one is we are playing all ball fouls. So if you foul throughout a match, the match is over, done, Ghost wins. Whether you nick a ball, touch a ball, double hit, whatever the case may be, it is going to be all ball fouls in all divisions, from Division 3 right up to the Pro Division. If you scratch on any shot, you do not count the points for that pocketed ball. So, for example, I was practicing yesterday, ran out the rack, made the 9 ball, and then scratched. So I would, in fact, not get the 2 points for the 9 ball, or the 1 point if I was to scratch out the rack. So we just want to clarify what those rules were, what they are, what they're going to be going forward.
And the reason for the all ball fouls is it's too hard to police. If you're moving 1 or 2 balls, move it back, leave it where it is.
Mm-hmm.
The only fair way to do it is just to have it all ball fouls.
Yep.
It's the only way to make it fair for everyone. I know it seems a little tough, but it's also very good training.
It is.
Incredibly good training.
And you know, I'll be honest, up until Ben challenged me to kind of play the Ghost and take it seriously, it's I can see 100% where it would sharpen up the game and the skills.
Incredible for sharpening your skills.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And for everybody asking questions right now on Facebook as well as YouTube, we do have those chats open. We're not going to pay attention so much to the questions yet. So certainly we will ask, or answer questions. We just got some things that we want to kind of get through. So we'll get through what we need to, and then we'll open it up for questions after that. All leagues as well, it will be the 1 ball on the spot. It will not vary from that, regardless of the division that you're going to play in.
For session 1, anyway.
For session 1, yeah. Also, the pattern of the rack. I know that some were thinking that the example that I put out prior to was what we were going to use for session 1. No, quite in fact, no. We will put out, excuse me, the rack pattern that we are going to use will be sent out to all players on January 3rd. I'll try to make that as early as I can on January 3rd so that you have an opportunity to, have a look at the rack, get used to how that will kind of go forward for the next 15 weeks. But it may change throughout. It may not. Haven't made that decision yet, but certainly on the rack that we'll be playing with, that pattern will be released on January 3rd.
The reason for releasing that late is so you guys can't figure out a soft break.
That's right.
And the reason we're patterning the balls is so no one can soft break.
Yes. Well, and it's to ward away from, nothing against Corey Duell. The guy he's an absolute master of the game and studies the rack more than any player I've ever met. But we're quite familiar with the Corey Duell setup on the rack, so you won't see that in the patterns that we put out.
Well, there's still going to be somebody figure out a soft break, but we're just going to try to avoid it as much as we can.
Yeah.
Takes away from the game. Soft break.
Yeah. Also, one question that we had that I do want to kind of touch base on and explain as to why things are the way they are. Why are we charging US dollars being a Canadian company? And yes, we are a Canadian company. However, we are taking registrations from all over the world. And a couple of different things when you're taking money from all over the world, having one standard currency makes it a little bit easier on the accounting side, rather than trying to figure out the exchange rate for every different possible country that could register in the league. So we'll take money in USD, and we will also pay money out in USD.
They're saying your voice is choppy. Maybe just give it a minute, see if it fixes itself.
It will fix itself.
Connection.
So let me know once the audio has kind of corrected itself, and I'll kind of go back over that last little bit, but it should correct itself out.
Yeah, it happens quite often with Facebook, I believe.
Yeah. Is it happening the same on YouTube? I know we got some YouTubers watching. Let us know on YouTube if it's coming through the same way. Good now? Perfect.
Yeah, it usually just takes a minute to
Yeah.
come around.
Okay, perfect. So good to go. So I'll kind of backtrack a little bit on this. So I was explaining why we had a question why we were charging US dollars being a Canadian company. And it's quite simple. Being that we have players from virtually all over the planet that will be playing, it's much easier to have a single currency that everybody is familiar with instead of having to figure out the accounting on the conversion of Canadian to US dollars. And when I'm playing in a division, it's not, that I'm playing only in Canada. I'm playing potentially players from all over the world. So if I'm putting in Canadian dollars and they're putting in US dollars and he's putting in euros, it makes the accounting of that extremely difficult. So we just chose the US dollar. On top of that, the majority of players are going to be in the States. And it just made it easier to kind of have one set currency. So with that all being said, we now have the website live. It is ready to go. There are certainly some things you'll see on the website that we haven't quite got to yet. Bear with us. We will get there. We just wanted to get it up and live with the ability to take registrations and so on and so forth. So I want to kind of go through that real quick. So the website address is www.cslipl.com. You can head on to there now. You can register. It'll take your league fees, payments, and then when you go onto the website and you first get to the website. So I'm just going to bring mine up right now. You'll see a picture of Tyler Steyer and a table with our logo on it. If you scroll down from there, it'll have all the different divisions. So you just click on the division that you want to enter in. Make sure you scroll all the way down. There is a form there that you need to fill out that's got all your player information, and then you submit that form, and then you go to add to cart to pay the fees.
We need the form filled out.
Yes. Otherwise, we're not going to really know who the payment came from.
Yeah.
So please, dear heavens, make sure you're filling out that form. Fill it out in its entirety, and then hit submit, and then you can go to add to cart and get the fee payments done. So that's now live and ready to go. Like I said, you will see some things on that website that aren't quite finished off yet. We will get there, I promise you. We're working hard at it. And then we will also have the player package ready to go hopefully in the next couple of days. So if you do go on and you do register, bear with us. As soon as we have everything ready to go, we will send you confirmation email that has the player package with all information. That'll have full rule sets. It'll have everything that you need to know about the league and kind of everything you need to go forward with. So
CSLIPL.com is the website there, guys.
Yeah.
In case you missed it. CSLIPL.
Yeah. So the acronym stands for Q Sports Live International Pool League. So CSLIPL.com. So
if you guys are curious why we have Tyler on that homepage there, he's going to be representing the U.S. side of the IPL. So he's going to be sort of the face there. We're going to be doing some promotions for him, promoting his lessons and stuff like that.
which are league members, he is doing virtual lessons. So for any league member of the International Pool League, you will get discounts on taking those virtual lessons from Tyler. Once I have all that information, certainly we'll get on releasing that. And I know Ben's not going to do it, so I will. As far as who the face of the International Pool League is in Canada, it is your one and only, Your very own Mr. Benny Franchise Francis.
I'm the lucky guy.
You are the lucky face. So, and of course, Ben does give lessons as well. Once we have all of his information, same rules apply. You'll get discounts on lessons from Ben, should you want those. So, with all of that being said, we will now open everything up to questions. Feel free to fire away, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. We are watching. Pay attention. Ben looks like he's responding back to somebody now.
I just put a comment in there with the website for you guys.
Oh, perfect. So let's scroll back and see. Is a push out available? No.
I know Blaine's been waiting for the answer to this question for a while, but how do you play the Ghost one pocket? Quite simple. You just take ball in hand and you got to shoot all the balls in one of the rack corners. And
if you miss, you're done.
You can handicap it easy, so maybe for a better player, beating the Ghost would be making 9 balls instead of 8.
Mm-hmm.
But technically, you beat the Ghost if you make 8 balls because the Ghost only has 7 balls left.
Yeah. So I just want to clarify with Jim Orzel again, is a push out available even though we get ball in hand after the break? No. With getting ball in hand, it more or less negates the requirement for a push out.
I don't know how serious he was about that.
Well, you never know.
So like you push, then you get ball in hand? Or you could push and like move some tied up balls and then you get ball in hand?
Yeah, right.
That wouldn't work.
Wisconsin in the house. How are you, Kevin?
I know Norm had a question there. Can he set up his tripod with the camera pointing from the side view? Absolutely.
Yeah. Mike was asking, for those of us that are not familiar with what's going on, can you explain how this works and costs? We can. I'll go over it real quick. Mike, I would suggest there's a couple of other Q and A sessions on the Facebook page that you may want to go back and listen to. It'll give you more detail than what I'm about to right now. But basically, it is an international pool league sanctioned by the BCA. For now, we'll add to that as time goes on. But it is open to anybody around the world. It is based on your Fargo rate. You'll enter into a division based on that Fargo rating. Fees are also dependent on what division you play in. It is a prepaid upfront league fee for the full 15 weeks. Not because we just want to hoard the money and just take it. What we're trying to kind of get away from is some of the things that other leagues running Ghost have experienced, where people sign up and then halfway through figure that they can't make it into the money, and so they drop out and they don't pay anymore, and that affects the prize pool. So we really want to be able to release what those prize pools are and what you're playing for at the start of your sessions.
And that's like the first week of play. We'll have the prize pool up.
Yep. So it is open. It is right now playing the Ghost. Obviously, we've got to take into consideration the state of the world right now in having various stages of availability of pool halls or not availability of pool halls. Right now it's a little topsy-turvy with where things are at. So as of right now, we are playing the Ghost. As things get opened up and it's kind of in the rear view, we'll certainly have a look at adding singles and teams and Scotch doubles and those types of things. But for right now, main concentration is going to be on the Ghost. And again, a lot of information will be on the website right now, CSLIPL.com.
We are following along with the YouTube chat as well, guys, if you got any questions on there.
Mm-hmm. So what about the break in the lower division, balls made? So in divisions 3 and 2, whether you come up dry or scratch on the break is irrelevant, has no consequences whatsoever. You still start with ball in hand. You will obviously get the points for those balls made as well. And then you continue the run in numerical order from there.
And let's say you like crush the break and the cue ball goes flying off the table and you make a bunch of balls, doesn't matter.
Yep.
If you scratch, doesn't matter. Division 1 and the pro division,
it does matter.
Then it changes.
Yep. Is it okay to set a tripod aiming at the pool table from the side?
I got that one already.
Okay.
So mostly we just want you guys to have a view where it's not obstructing too many shots. So if you're like leaning over the table and you can't see what's happening on, 50% of the shots, then your view is no good.
Mm-hmm. Eric, can I use a break cloth on my home table? I don't see an issue with that. Just putting the patch down.
Oh, absolutely. No,
Yeah.
you can definitely do that.
That has no bearing on the break.
Andrew wants to know if we're going to send him a table and a building to put it in
We'll be right on that, Andrew.
next year, Andrew.
Yeah.
And by next year, I don't mean like in a month from now.
Yeah. Carlos Barbosa, how are you, buddy? Missed the first two Q and A. Is there separation on table size? Yes, indeed, there is. So within each division, so we have Division 3, Division 2, Division 1, and then the Pro Division. Within each one of those, there are two options. The first option being a 7-foot size table. Second option is 8-foot plus. As we grow and we have more members and so on and so forth, it gives us the ability to kind of filter those out even more, where we can do all three separate divisions, 7, 8, and 9. If we get really, really good and really big, we could separate those out again between Valley, Diamond, Rasson. We can
make you put a tape measure in your corner pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
You could
pocket
play in
size,
4-inch pocket division.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, as we grow and more players come on board, then certainly we will create separating factors.
So Blaine said he filled out the form and it didn't make him pay. It's actually beside the form. It'll say add to cart.
Yep. So there's two different actions that you do on the website. So first action is to fill out the form and hit submit, and then you go scroll back up and it'll say add to cart, and just click add to cart and then just complete that transaction there.
Yeah, it'll give you the multiple ways to pay, credit card and such.
Do all 15 games have to be played at once? Yes and no. There's always going to be exceptions to the rule. We would encourage it, yes. And in fact, I'd almost want to mandate it, yes. Are there exceptions to the rule? Of course.
Well,
if I'm at home, go ahead.
Here's a perfect example. Is my internet at my house, it just randomly cuts out like a couple times a day for about a minute or 2 minutes. So let's say your internet cuts out in the middle of your match and the video just stops. Just start another video after.
Mm-hmm.
Send us a message. Tell us it's going to be 2 parts.
Yep.
Away you go.
Yep.
Or let's say your kid falls down the stairs and breaks his arm. You got to go to the hospital.
Please stop playing.
When you get back.
go take care of what needs to be taken care of.
But you'll have to let us know when things like that happen. If it's a 2-part video, just send us a message. Let us know.
Yep.
But ideally, yeah, you play all the games at once. Because the last thing we need is like 3 videos where you played 5 games and then you took a break and then you played 5 games and then you took a break. And then...
Yes. Well, and I do want to clarify this too, that when you're setting up your live stream, there's 2 things. Number one, we need an unobstructed view of that table. So make sure your cameras are up high enough or your phone's up high enough, tripod, whatever you're going to use, make sure that's up high enough to give us an unobstructed view.
Like you can't have like a corner pocket blocked out.
Yeah.
It can't be like a 90% view of your table.
100%
It needs to be 100% view.
Yeah. And then I lost my train of thought on where I was going. So you need an unobstructed view. And I can't remember what my point was going to be after that.
They'll need to tell us who they are.
Oh, yeah, message the page.
Message, yeah.
Yes. So when you're setting it up and you're going live, number one, you can put your title in there, what your name is, what week you're playing, week 1, session 1. But I also, we need you to send a message to either the email address or Facebook Messenger that you are going live. Right, and we'll kind of watch for you going live within 10 minutes of when that message comes in.
Just gives us extra verification.
Correct.
That's all. And your video must be live.
Yes.
No recording your best session and then posting it.
No, it has to be a live video. I'm electronically challenged. Are you able to go on how to stream and also how to link to your page? Yes, the short answer. What'll end up happening? I'll let Ben let Ben let you know what's going on there.
I'll do sort of a demo for you guys. Grant will record it and we'll post that on the page, but it'll just be sort of a step by step. You know, right from messaging the page saying I'm going to play my week 1 match to going live to titling it to sharing it.
It sounds
All that fun
technical,
stuff.
but it's really not.
No,
It's actually fairly easy to do.
Facebook has made it so easy.
Yeah. What's going on, Martin Taylor? How are you? Daryl's asking, great idea under today's global pandemic, but how are games going to be monitored? It seems like a lot, approximately 7,000 games per week. It is a lot, Daryl. And so I will say this, the Q Sports Live International Facebook page, that's the page you're going to go live to. So not only are you going live personally, but then you share that stream to the Q Sports Live Facebook page, which then in turn gets reviewed not only by us, but potentially every member of the pool league. I would encourage anybody and everybody that is a member of the pool league, you do have a vested interest in monitoring everybody that is playing. That's pretty much how we're going to do it. And if there's any discrepancies, we'll send you either an email or a message, let you know what we find and whether a game needs to be replayed. Maybe, for example, if I'm playing on my home table and I take a shot, I don't notice that I've actually touched a ball and that game is over, then we will go back, we'll contact you, we'll let you know instead of the 10-0 that you thought you got, you know, fouled on shot number 6 and it's a 6 for you.
And if it's questionable, we'll tell you to replay the rack.
Yeah. So we will be monitoring. We've got, not only myself, Ben, and Mick, but there's a couple of other volunteers that we've got that will be viewing as well. And believe me, I watch a lot of pool.
Will we have a lower division than 3 eventually,
Yeah.
Jared? We're going to have a youth division as well.
Yeah.
A junior division. Blair wants to know any day of the week in a 7-day span. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
we don't set it.
One of the nicest things about this league is it's play when you want.
And even going forward past the Ghost, once we set up, or if and or when we get into singles, in the live singles matches, even then we will not set your schedule for when you play. It'll be open, so if Ben and I end up playing each other and we're in Calgary, I can get a hold of Ben and say, okay, Ben, what's your schedule? And it's according to our schedule. It's not according to, every Tuesday night Division 3 goes out to play, because if you can't make it, it makes it a little bit tough. So we're not going to set the schedules. Team play, once we kind of get down to that, team play, we will certainly set schedules, but from Ghost through to the singles, we will not.
Norm says he's trying to send payment, but it doesn't come up to enter my card.
Norm, you're in Canada, so you can actually e-transfer. So if you want to e-transfer, that's another way you can do it. But I'm not sure why it wouldn't bring up.
Yeah, we did a trial run, and
everything
our
came up.
source told us it came up. Maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and
Not good.
Blair said that he's paid already as well. So I'll give you a shout after, Norm, and we can kind of walk you through it.
Mike Isaac says he doesn't like the rule in Division 1 with the break. Mike, we're trying to figure out what to do there. We just want to prevent people from soft breaking.
Yeah.
That's all we're trying to do.
Well, and I think it's more understanding why we put that rule in, is to prevent soft break. So, we've kind of got to pick our poison, right? And you're going to live by the sword, die by the sword. But we're trying to do the best we can to come up with ways to prevent the soft break and pattern racking and all the normal things that you would encounter in a ghost league that make things difficult. We are trying our best to find alternate ways to work through that.
Yeah, Mike, we're very open to suggestions on what you think we should do with that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we should just make a scratch a loss too? Would that make more sense?
That is the way it is for the pro division,
But
where a scratch or a dry break.
Personally, I agree with Mike that it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
In Division 1 for a scratch not to be a loss, but a dry break to be a loss. So we might have to play around with that.
Yeah.
Blaine wants to know if he can go live through YouTube instead of Facebook. No, Blaine.
Not as of yet. Not for session 1. We may have that available for session 2. And really, at the end of the day, if I can get it done for session 1, then I will. Because really, it's just going on and creating a YouTube channel for Q Sports Live International Pool League. However, I know it sounds very simplistic, but it's not.
We try to keep it all in one place.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to review and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. qsportslive@gmail.com, Norm. And do keep in mind as well that is USD, not Canadian dollars, even though you're e-transferring.
Touching a ball is a foul, and yeah, it's not in the BCA rules, but we're going to have obviously modified BCA rules, because also not in BCA rules is that you get ball in hand off the break. So
yes.
There's going to be it'll be BCA,
it is modified for sure.
Modified BCA.
Yeah.
And really, I mean, it sounds harsh that touching any ball is a foul, but it's really the only fair way to do it.
Yeah. Because, and I'll give you the prime example, if I'm going to take a shot and I bump a ball, who's to say where that ball was? If I'm not watching and paying attention and I bump a ball and it's the only ball, and according to BCA rules, I can put that ball back or have my opponent put that ball back. Number one, I don't have an opponent. There's nobody there. Number two, how do I know where that ball was? And so I'm guessing at that point. We want to take that right out of the equation.
Well, and it can be manipulated so easily. I'm sure all you avid pool players have seen that rule manipulated many different ways with the moving a ball, touching a ball.
Yeah. So if Mike says if you use that rule, then scratch should be a loss as well. And, normally and typically I would agree. I'm just trying to take natural steps when you look at league play. So from Division 3 to Division 2 to Division 1 to Pro, and what those natural progressions and what you're going to have to get used to are. So it made sense to me in Division 1 to get rid of the dry break. Then a scratch doesn't count because I want you swinging at the break. But a dry break, well, the pros have to play it as a dry break is a loss. So I introduced that in level 1. And then when you go to pro, then both become lots of game.
We can possibly alter that before the season starts.
Yeah.
If we get an overwhelming, majority says that they don't like that rule, then we'll change it. Absolutely. And the biggest thing we want you guys to know about this league is we want to run it the way you guys want it run.
Yeah, 100%.
Like we're pool players too, so we get it. You know, if you guys don't like the rules, tell us. We'll change them.
Yes. Now, that being said, we are going to change it for the majority. Obviously, we can't please everybody all the time, but we'll do our best. How do I get a Fargo rating? I'm in the UK, never played in the league. Fargo rating is actually all over the world as well. But if you don't have a Fargo rating, it doesn't exclude you from playing. It simply means you start in Division 2, and you'll either work your way up or down from there. So again, it is open to anyone around the world. Doesn't matter where you're located, so long as you've got access to a 7-foot or an 8+, you have the ability to play.
We're trying to get it so you'll have a league-specific Fargo rating.
Yes.
And that way we know where you belong within the league. So by, session 2, we should have a good idea what speed you play at. So,
Alan, if you do have any questions about it, you can find us on Facebook, Q Sports Live, or Q Sports Live International Pool League is the Facebook page, or you can send us an email, qsportslive@gmail.com.
Mike wants to know where we came up with the Fargo rate numbers for division levels. We kind of just, this is how we're going to start.
Yeah.
So we figured this was the best way to start, and then we can sort of break it down more, change it, alter it, whatever, come session 2.
Yep.
For session 1, we just want to keep it basic, and literally it was just Grant and I spitballing numbers, what sounded right and
Yeah.
felt most fair. So
Correct. And I mean, understand, guys, this is our first time. We're throwing our hat into the ring in kind of a new setting for us. We're not going to get everything right from the start. There's going to be things that you guys are going to want to see change and different rules and so on and so forth. We're more than willing to listen to that. We have a long-term plan, a long-term goal. This is simply the tip of the iceberg for what we want to accomplish. So, at some point you just gotta pick a point and throw the hat in the ring and see where it sticks. So that's more or less what we've come up with. Obviously, Ben and I have played our fair share of pool and can kind of see where those natural separations should start occurring. And that's where we came up with the numbers that we did.
yeah, thankfully we're very lucky to have a wide variety of players in Calgary.
Yeah.
So we see like every level of play you can imagine, and it gives us a good idea where we should start with the division separation.
Well, and I think it's something that that league members, going forward, can kind of take comfort in. Is this isn't a league that we've started and is going to go away in a month. This is something that now that we've started, the hat's in the ring and we're not going away. So whether that's dealing with COVID, not dealing with COVID, and what the plans are in the future, we're always going to have the Q Sports Live International Pool League in some form or fashion. Right now, it's a lot of dealing with COVID and a pandemic, and the different areas of the country that are open versus closed. So it's a really a finicky thing to kind of work your way through, put the rules in place. And not just appeal to Calgary players, right? It's not about Calgary players. This is kind of an international, worldwide league that we want to have appealing to everywhere around the world. So it's taken a lot of thought, taken a lot of work. I've got score sheets ready to go for session 1. Again, yes, it's a little bit archaic going into session 1. We are committed. We've already committed the cash to developing what we need to develop in order to make session 2 even better again.
We thought about that too, Mike. We thought about using the BCA divisions there with the gold, silver, platinum. I just don't think they're fair, to be honest.
Yep.
I don't think they're fair. And Grant agreed. So I think this way is much better. Like you can see, we're putting unranked players, like pretty much telling them they'll start at like a 620, right?
Yep.
Rather than a 525, which I just feel is not fair.
Well, I mean, it's again, right? You got to pick your poison. What way do you want to go? Do you want to have new players coming in that aren't established but play at a 640 rating? Do you want to have those down in the Division 3? My answer to that is heck no.
No.
Right? Now, if you truly don't have an established Fargo rating and you do play at a 580 or lower speed, no problem. You can't go wrong playing above. You're going to learn things. You're going to pick up on some good things. That'll help your game. Once you've gone through session 1, okay, now you can drop down. You're a better player and be in Division 3. Right? But again, you've got to pick a starting point, and this was our starting point.
Yeah, I assume we're definitely gonna be making changes to the Fargo gaps and such moving forward. We'll probably split up Division 3 into 2 divisions and
Well,
have it a little more encompassing, but we got to get the numbers first. We got to have
which is really what we're relying on you guys for. If you like what you see and you're going to play, tell people, let people know, let everybody know, because at the end of the day, the more players we have in each different division simply adds to the prize pool.
Yeah,
right?
we need everybody to share, try to get this out there. We need lots of players first session.
Yeah, and we want to keep it realistic, right? That's why all of the posters that I put out, and I'll show you this one here. Wrong mouse. I'll show you this one here. This was one that I put out, and this is why I only based it on 100 players. But for your pro division, based on 100 players, first place prize is just over 12,000. Division 1 first place is just over 6,000. Division 2 first place is just over 4,000, and Division 3 first place is again just over 2,000. So you can see with minimal players of 100, the numbers are pretty darn good.
Shane wants to know, how do the weekly standings work? Does go by what you score each week? Yeah, so you'll keep a running total, more or less. We'll keep a running total. We'll update standings every week.
Mm-hmm.
I believe on Monday. We're going to shoot for Monday to have standings updated every week.
Yes. So maybe Tuesday by the time everything gets calculated, because if you got players that are playing late Sunday night, we're not going to get that until Monday. So a day or two after to get everything kind of put into place. Now, I'll touch further on that. I literally just finished all of the score sheets for every different division and for all 15 weeks. Those are now done, and it will. I know I don't have an example for you right here, right now, but you'll see it. The one single form that I send out to you is in an Excel spreadsheet. I'll have a printable version of that as well. But for those that do want to use Excel, that's what it's built in, and it will keep track of absolutely everything for you. You simply put in your game scores for each night, and it will track everything for you. It gives you a running total throughout the whole 15 weeks, and you can then check what you've got against what we have to make sure that everything is on the up and up, and the number of points you have is actually what's reflected in our standings.
And we'll keep it simple. You guys will be able to just email us your score sheets or send a picture. It won't really matter.
Yeah, I will have a printable version done. The one that I worked on, I wanted that one done first because it's the most time consuming to build in all the formulas and all the different pages and so on and so forth. So those are all now done in each different division. So once you see those, and if you're familiar with Excel at all, you'll be able to see that, and kind of it's easily functioning within those score sheets.
Blaine wants to know, if we are in Division 3, will we be able to watch all other divisions?
Indeed.
Absolutely. And we're hoping you guys do. That's one of the best ways to improve your game is watch what other players do.
100%.
Watch how Tyler Steyer approaches every ball, because he never goes wrong.
Yep.
Watch how he breaks. Watch all that fun stuff. Right?
I'll further clarify that. If you are a league member, yes, you are free to watch any match, any division. But as of January 1st, the Q Sports Live International Pool League page will be a private page. It will be for league members only. And the reason that I'm doing that is we will have special offers and special deals that we want to, give to our players. Not necessarily a blanket deal that if you like Q Sports Live, automatically you're going to get it. These will be above and beyond anything that we've put out on Q Sports Live. So,
Danny Clark, yeah, we can see the YouTube comments there, Dan. We see ya. It's 30-day ban from Facebook, so.
Again?
He's like, just talk to me. Mike thinks the spread, yeah. I don't disagree there, Mike, but we had to start somewhere, right? We can definitely tweak the divisions a little more. 640 to 720 is kind of tough, but to be honest, I'm right around 720. I've always floated right around 720, and I know plenty of players in Calgary that are 640s who play just as good as me. Just as good.
Yeah. And Dean, I'll kind of clarify why in Division 1 what that rule means. What we're trying to do by putting that rule on, that a scratch on a break is not a loss, but a dry break is. We are trying to eliminate the Corey Dual soft break.
I think we've had enough feedback that we can just change that. and just make a scratch a loss too.
Yep. We can do both.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way. And then, yeah. And I want people to know, like, somebody was out there was saying, they're worried about breaking dry too much. It's tough to make a ball in 10 ball.
Well, and look at what Tyler just did today.
It's tough for everyone else. Yeah, I want like, and somebody else, Blaine said he was watching too. Like, Tyler broke dry 4 or 5 out of the first 6 racks. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And
But I did want to have that separating factor from going from Division 1 into division or into the pro division.
But I think we're going to have to scrap it by the sounds of it. Better to make a scratch a loss too. I definitely agree.
Yep. Yeah, that's fine. We can
Master
can certainly change it.
Starts around 650. So, and a big thing with Fargo is, like, for the most part it's going to be accurate, but it is going to be all over the place. Like I said, I know players that play. They're a 640. They're well established, but they play like a 720 consistently.
Yep.
They're just playing, like you, for an example. You're like a 6'11", right?
Yep.
You'd be a lot higher if you lived in Montana.
Maybe.
Playing not me every week, and not Joe, and not Steven, and not...
Yeah.
So
true enough.
It's not going to be that accurate. Your Fargo's very dependent on who you're playing all the time.
Yep.
For sure.
I would agree. Well, and it's one of the things that I really do look forward to, on the go forward, because I am talking with Mike at Fargo to see if there is a way, and I've got it in my brain on how it can possibly work and how it can possibly function. But I don't know the ins and outs of his program, what his control factors are as far as how he gets an established Fargo rating. But in my brain, I've got an idea on how we can make it work, even playing the Ghost, and have that affect your live rating. But again, those are all conversations that I have to have with him. If he agrees with me and is willing to kind of implement that, then we got to give him time in order to make the changes within Fargo. But I do have kind of the thoughts and ideas on how that can function. But Fargo's not my company, right? Fargo's just, I wish I had control, but I don't.
One small step at a time.
That's it.
As far as that goes, for sure.
But I am looking forward to the fact that if we can possibly make that happen, it really, really adds some good things to what we can do going forward.
Absolutely. It's going to make Fargo more accurate for everyone.
Yeah.
Lou wants to know, if you're a 580 rated player, what do you think your average score should be in 15 games of 9 ball? Lou, that's a tough one because it depends on the table.
Yeah. There's a lot of different variables. Now, I'll say this. If people are out there, and I'm going to touch on this not to kind of dissuade people, but one of the things that Ben and I were talking about right from the very start is the cheating aspect. And if you've been a fan of Q Sports Live for any point of time, both Ben and I are typically happy-go-lucky. We don't want to be the heavy hand. In this case, we will be the heavy hand, where if people are caught cheating, it will be immediate lifetime ban, not just for a session, not just for a season, a full lifetime ban. You will not be able to play again. And there's reason for it. We want to protect those that are playing with integrity. Those are the people that we want to protect so that they know going forward that, they can play safely. It's, we don't want to be that heavy hand, but those are one of the rules that I think we need to.
I'll comment that website on here again for anybody who wants to register. www.cslipl.com.
And so, kind of getting back to what you were asking on what should an average score be for a 580. Even 580s, as Ben mentioned, the level of skill is so or so varying. Even if you took 10 580 players, they're not always going to have the same score. But what I will be watching for, and I'm sure Ben will be watching for, is the abnormalities within each division. Right? It's one of the things that we'll be watching for, because it's an indication that something else is going on.
Right. If we got 580s running like perfect scores all the time, then we'll be looking into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's Brad says, give or take 90 to 110 is probably pretty accurate for like 7'10" ball or 7'9" ball rather. I'd say 90 is probably pretty close. Out of a possible 150.
Yeah. Wayne says, so if I don't play but have paid my sanctioning fee with BCA, I cannot see the matches. Correct. For the most part. We may have people outside of players that come in to help us watch and view matches. But by and large, yes, if paying your sanctioning fee to BCA, whether that's via us or any other sanctioned league, has no bearing on whether you can view or watch matches that go on our league page.
Yeah, Blaine, you're absolutely right. Like we are talking about Tyler there, Kid's got by far the best 10-ball break in the world right now, and he comes up dry. He was like, well, it's just one of those days, he said. And he was right. You're not going to break perfect every day.
That's it.
But if you break perfect
I wish
9 out of 10 days, if I had his break, I'd be laughing.
No doubt.
I'd be rich, too.
No doubt. Well, and I mean, we all have different things that we do, and, there's going to be times where I'm, my arm's not quite swinging the same as it was last week.
Well, even like somebody brought up today, maybe it was like the magic rack could have just been a hair
100%.
up, down. Maybe it was raining outside.
Yeah.
The moisture in the air can affect a break.
100%. As you guys can see, I've got my back door right next to my pool table. So my table is very, very sensitive to what's going on outside.
It plays quick all the time.
Yeah.
Every time I've played on your table, it plays
quick.
Fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a valley.
Yes.
Plays fast.
Yeah.
Which is abnormal. Usually they play slow, but it's
Yes.
because it's cold.
Yep.
And it's dry.
Yeah.
It just plays lightning quick for a valley all the time.
It does, which I like.
Yeah. On a great day, 150, yeah. Yeah, 5 other tables, an average 21 to 30. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Anywhere around there, you're probably pretty close.
Yeah. Well, I think by the looks of things,
Answered it all.
we've got her all.
Covered it all.
Once again, guys, if you do have any questions, certainly send us a message, whether that's through Facebook or through email, qsportslive@gmail.com. Send us a message. We will get back to you. I've been pretty much Johnny on the spot, getting back to people. But also, if you are playing, vitally important, tell people, share it, let everybody know.
It's the most important thing.
100%.
And it's only going to benefit the players.
Yeah.
So the more you share it, the more you get it out there, the bigger the prize pools will be, the better the competition will be.
Yeah, we want to grow this thing. We want to make it really, really, really big. I said this the last time that we were live. If we were to go into every single thing that we want to accomplish on go forward, you guys would think we're crazy. We're delusional. We've lost our minds. But you know what? In order to change the status quo, really that's what it's going to take, right? Is for, those of us that have that opportunity and have that voice to get out there and actually do something about it. And that is definitely one of the things in combination with about a billion other things that we want to accomplish. So we want to make it successful. We want to make it, beneficial for all players. We will do majority rules, and if you want to see something change, certainly voice your opinion. We're certainly more than willing to take those opinions. So,
Absolutely.
So with that being said, guys, we appreciate you tuning in. If you do have any further questions past this, certainly feel free to send us a message again, qsportslive@gmail.com, or send us a message on either of the Facebook pages, whether that's Q Sports Live or the Q Sports Live International Pool League. Appreciate you tuning in, everybody, and we will see you next Sunday. We'll be doing this every Sunday up until the point that we're live.
Couple more to go.
Couple more